human music. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Human music. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Human music. I like it. I like it. human music. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Let's go. Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. It is Monday, July 9th. It's time for another episode of the Palaver. I am lucky enough to be joined by the wonderful, the infamous, the incomparable WNG Infidel. Brother, how you doing? Not like we haven't been talking for the last 20 minutes, but, you know, we pretend for the show that we're...
Of course.
You know.
Of course. I am stellar. I'm living the dream, as I always say. I get to
living...
wake up every day and talk with good people and do what I love. So, living the dream.
Let's just go ahead and just pick up right where we were a minute and a half ago before I said, okay, hold on.
All right.
All right. So you just celebrated your second month as an affiliate?
No, as a streamer.
Oh, wow. You
Yeah.
really are new then.
Yeah. May 8th was my first stream ever, and I've been at it, that would make yesterday my 2 months.
Dude, I mean, watching your streams, I would never have guessed that. I mean, you've got more chops than people who've been doing it a year. It's like some streams I've seen, they're just like, you know?
Well, thank you. I mean, I've been on Twitch as a viewer and as a fan of a lot of different streams, particularly of the games that I love, for about a year now. So I'm not completely unfamiliar, and I've had a lot of good role models in the area. So I think I had a great idea of what I wanted to do when I first started. So it didn't take me too long to get it together, just to put the actual overlays and the bells and whistles on it is what's the biggest challenge.
Well, you got it down, man. You go AFK. I see you get your AFK screen up when you're in between matches. You switch to your little face cam screen that's got all that relevant info on. It looks great.
Thank you. Started putting in some new ones too. Everybody loves story time with Infidel, so now I got this big old movie theater screen I throw on once in a while.
I know. You're like, come on, come all the way down to the front. Take a seat. Don't lean to the back.
Yeah, file in from the front.
Yeah, I saw it. Dude, let me get to the question that I want to ask first and foremost. Okay, and by the way, I always tell people the Palaver isn't like an interview thing. It's just chit chat. But this is just me because I want to know. So you're a veteran, yes?
Yes.
Yes. What branch did you serve in?
I served U.S. Army. I was in from 2007 through 2015 was my official retirement.
Nice. I thought that it was Army, but I didn't want to say that. Like, I was like, I better double check.
Yeah, no, you're never wrong on the safe side to that.
We have a...
As a coastie, I might get a little bent. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I mean, you know, it's not like called you a naval man or something. You know,
No.
I never served because my body is and always has been a disaster, and I was like, yeah.
I know what you're talking about, and I know about it now. I was in a good shape once upon a time, but now I feel you. Caution tape everywhere.
Since we are men of a similar age, let me ask you a question, because this is something I've noticed in the last year or two. Have your hands, and not the working part of your hands, but the backs of your hands, has the skin just started breaking constantly for you?
Not breaking. I mean,
like I bump my hand into something and it's like I bleed. I'm like, what?
It has gotten thinner. I don't know whether that's in like that, but you expect it. My father's a good 30 years ahead of us, and his is paper thin, so I figure it's got to be a progression, not an overnight thing.
Yeah. Speaking of progression, this is slowly and steadily marching backwards.
It is a rare occasion for your viewers that I am here without a hat on. I stream with a backwards ball cap every time. This is the first time I think I've ever been on my webcam without one. So, as you can see, I'm right there with you.
Dude,
I keep it shaved because it's not worth growing in what little is there. You know, it's so thin and stringy that it just look like you're making a piss poor attempt.
I keep telling the wife, I said, listen, I'm not so vain that I'm gonna do a comb around. I go, if it gets to a point right here where, and I mean, you can see it's starting to get thin there.
Oh, of course.
I go,
There's age.
it's coming off. It's all coming off. And this past Halloween, last Halloween, I went as Walter White. You know, Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I went as Heisenberg. I had the hat. I shaved my head and everything. And really, the reason is I wanted to preview what it would look like if I shaved my head.
It's never as bad as you think it.
The wife hated it. Oh, dude.
Wives always do. They hate change. They'll get used to anything.
Dude, she hated it. For everyone joining me, thank you very much for the raid. I am talking to WNG Infidel. He is a Xbox, right? Xbox PUBG streamer. Do you stream anything else other than PUBG on Xbox?
Pretty much, no. No. Ever since the beginning, that's been my game. It's my favorite game out there, and I think I'm waiting for new battle royales to hit the market before I find anything else. But I really love PUBG. I mean, it's if not functionally, conceptually, one of the best conceived battle royale games out there. So I'm in love with it.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something. I've tried Fortnite. I've tried Realm Royale. I've tried one or two of these other ones. H1Z. I got to say, for all of the problems that it has, it really is the best battle royale game.
And as long as you don't let the problems get to you, which the last patch on Xbox has really made the game playable. They sold like 7-8 million copies, if I'm correct, for the console. And the player numbers are well below that. Too many players got into the game and they saw the functionality was beyond playable, with crashes, bugs. You died more to the game mechanics being out of whack and having glitches and boots than you did to other players. We started calling it getting blue hole.
Yeah.
So in the end, you know, this latest patch has increased the functionality, so you're seeing a lot more players get back into the console version.
You know,
it's a good thing to see.
I'll be honest with you, man. Watching you guys play on the console, it looks like a much different experience than on PC.
Yeah.
I took a 6-month break from the game. I only just reinstalled it recently to try out Sandhook. But, dude, for us PC players, the hackers are unbelievable.
Yep. We still have our share of problems. The biggest, we don't get the hacks. There's a lot more code integrity and a lot more mechanism built into console than there ever will be into PC.
Mm-hmm.
And that prevents a lot of the different crazy hacks you see on PC, like flying cars and speed hacks and wall hacks and all that. Our major issue are people using a Zim to use a mouse and keyboard on the console, which gives them an advantage over the controller. A lot of folks do it. You'll even see YouTubers, very popular one, out there with their mouse and keyboard playing on the console, and they've got numbers that no controller player can match. So
yeah.
That's our main cheating problem, but even then, it's more a speculative thing unless you can get concrete proof.
I mean, but the thing is, too, is if you're talking about something like a Zim, where it's a piece of physical hardware, there's no way you can track that.
Right.
The thing that really turned me off from PUBG for a long time was, dude, Bluehole, or I guess they call it PUBG Corporation now, but I still call it Bluehole. Dude, they know where the problem is with these hackers. They know where the problems are coming from, and they don't seem to fucking care. They don't do anything about. Do you know who Shroud is?
Oh, of course.
Dude, he just posted there was just a clip from his stream the other day. He had 3 matches in a row where he got killed by flying cars that could go through walls.
Yep.
And then finally, in the third game, the hacker was like, "Oh, it's Shroud," and started talking to him over, and was like, "Here, get in, I'll fly you around." And Shroud's like, "Fuck it," and he did. And he's like, "Whatever, Bluehole's not doing anything about these hackers." He goes, You know, because I'm not gonna.
Report
I'm
them
not.
all you want. They just make a new name,
Yeah.
new account.
So a lot of people are thinking that Shroud might be getting hit with a ban at some point soon, and
You know what? If anything, they'll take it as a clue. And if Bluehole tries to hit back somebody like Shroud, they're going to lose their biggest marketing mouthpiece supporter out there. So I don't think that would be a good idea on their part.
do you guys in the Xbox have the Shroud and Doctor Disrespect weapon skins?
No, no. We just got Miramar released. We have no Sandhawk. We have no DMR. Even Miramar doesn't have the caddies with the. It's picture about 8 months ago, PUBG on PC, and that's where we're at. But the devs keep insisting and keep promising that they're gonna catch up with PC one day, and I'm tending to believe them because at this point, it took us about 6 months after Sandhawk, because Miramar was released on PC right about the time the game was issued on console.
Right.
And we just got Miramar 6 months later. But as of now, the devs are already playing Sandhawk on Xbox, and they're expecting to usher it and rush it out to the public test servers, and probably within the next month or two, is the thought. So we're closing that gap a little bit, and I'm hoping that eventually we'll catch up entirely.
Well, I know I'd love to watch you and my buddy AJ and oh god, how many other people can I name from your community? Nick 80 and I'd love to watch you guys doing a Sandhook because I like the spicy hot drops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what Sandhook is. Even if you don't drop spicy, you're spicy 5 minutes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're not running for 15 minutes through the desert on a horse with no name.
Dude, I can't play Miramar. I can't do it, man.
They increased the number of vehicle spawns, but does it make that? Not really. Especially when you drive as badly as I do.
This is the way I put it. I don't like Miramar. If I feel like wandering around confused and then getting killed by something I can't see, I'll just take the batteries out of my carbon dioxide detector.
Great analogy.
I mean, that's what Miramar is, man. I drop it, like, best case scenario, I drop Hacienda in Miramar, have some spicy fun, and if I win Miramar, then I get sniped in the head by someone as late as 20 minutes later. It's like, that's it. That's all the action.
One of the things we're also looking forward to greatly is custom games and map selection. Once we can have those involved in the console, the amount of people that'll be switching back over is going to be astronomical.
Yeah, Wally in chat brings up a point. You think you're a bad driver. My cars actually drive away from me. The other day I was driving and I meant to open my map, and thankfully I just started accelerating, so I wasn't going that fast. And for some stupid reason, my brain, instead of hitting M for map, hit F. So I rolled out of my car, and my car just kept going downhill into a river. It's like I was chasing after. No, come back, car, come back.
We have the same problem with the B button on the controller because it's the catch-all, close-all, but at the same time it's the exit vehicle button. So a lot of people take a tumble and bail out prematurely as well on our consoles, and it was real bad for a while.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Sometimes I watch you guys playing, and I'm like, all right, well, these guys are playing with they're sitting there like this, playing with a controller, and they're better than me with a mouse and keyboard. I'm not good at, but I don't care. Like, I enjoy PUBG, even though I'm bad at it.
You must have been watching some in a squad or duo games because Infidels Infantry, my squads are incredible. My squad ratings are sky high. As far as solos, I've played, I think, 710 solo games, and I've got one chicken dinner. So I'm not exactly some great PUBG player, but, you know, the folks that I play with and the folks in the community are insane. We've got a guy, Mike Stan, we call him. He goes by. He's up now on Twitch. He is the Shroud of PUBG on Xbox. I think his max is 24. But he averages 10 to 14 kills per chicken dinner and gets about 3 to 5 of them per stream. The guy is insanely good. better than I could ever hope to be. I always love running with him because I'm carried to a chicken dinner, and my only challenge is to actually get a kill before he can take them all. So there are players that are so much better than, and
I,
they're all over the community.
I'll bet you have way more chicken dinners than me because I almost always only play solo, and
Yeah.
in hundreds and hundreds of games, only one chicken dinner solo. I've got a couple in squads, I've got a couple in duos, but like
Hey, you know what? That first chicken dinner is like the basic. You're now in your unit. You might not have actually
hold on one second.
eligible for
Hey,
lifestyle
Infidel,
pass.
maybe move your mic a little closer to your mouth because you just cut.
Oops.
Yeah, you just said
Yep.
the first chicken dinner is like, and then we didn't hear anything else after that.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Let me make sure I'm good. The first chicken dinner is like getting through basic training in the military. You got your unit patch on one arm, but you're not qualified to call yourself a pro or a great gamer in it in any capacity. No deployment patch or real PUBG experience, so to speak. So I think that single first solo chicken dinner is the one that brings you into the club where you can say, "I've got a solo dinner." But there are those in the community who just never stop racking them up. Never stop.
I don't know. Maybe this is just me. For me, it's not about that chicken dinner. Like for me, it's about those moments when you get that like yes moment. For example, I dropped it at the radio tower above military base in Erangel, and someone landed right at the same spot as me, and we both ran for the shotgun, and he got the shotgun, but I got the ammo, and then we split looking for other weapons, and he got to the next gun before me, and I saw he was ahead of me, so I veered off, grabbed a pan, came in, blam, killed him with a headshot pan right to the head, one hit, and
That
like
is satisfying.
oh, that was better. That felt maybe not as good as a chicken dinner, but it's probably number two beneath my
Yep.
solo chicken dinner. I mean, it's just
Definitely highlight clip and highlight reel work.
oh, like 5 people clipped it.
You know, one of the most popular emotes for Twitch affiliates and partners that play PUBG is the pan.
That doesn't
Those
surprise
pan
me.
kills are highly sought after. I've got a pan emote that doesn't get used very often because I'm not very good with the pan, but you know what I'm saying.
Dude, it's you know what it is? It's that noise it makes when you hit someone with it too. It's like a
Oh yeah.
dong. Like it's
Yep.
got a little bit of a oh, it's so good. So good.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
custom games, pans only. It'll happen.
Oh man, that's another thing, man, that always bothered me about Bluehole is they had this like thing where they're like, oh, we're gonna invite certain people to be able to create custom games. It's like, dude, so there is an entire elite class of people that can do whatever they want, practice however they want, target practice, scout out the maps, etc., etc. You know what I mean? And no one else
Yep.
can. It's like either make custom matches for everyone or for no one.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
That'll always bother me.
Otherwise, there's other games coming out. E3. Quite a few games. I think there's going to be some branching out and expansion in the future. But, like I said, I'm 2 months old, so I'm still lacking a desk. As you can see, I'm here in my living room. I'm speaking to you on my 65-inch TV that I use for all of my elements that I put together for my stream. Yeah, right? Okay. There it is. Might be a big guy, but I still scare easily. And then I got a small 27-inch monitor that I play on underneath it, but it's all set up on an end table. So I don't even have the desk in place to play on my PC, even if I wanted to. It's really a question of also my community, and in the 2 months I've been up, it's been incredible, the response. Not only the follows, but the subs and the views and everything that's going on is incredible. And I don't want to quite betray that audience by switching up games and going to Fortnite or some other game I don't enjoy near as much until something much better hits the market that demands that type of shift or integration into the stream.
Well, okay, so here's here's a fact. So I started streaming in 2016, right? Do you know what my webcam was when I first started streaming?
What was that? You used your phone.
I used my cell phone. There was a program you could download called Droid Cam that would take this, beam it over Wi-Fi to your computer, and I literally just bent a coat hanger into a rack and set it up on top of my monitor like that. And for months, that was my camera.
Wow.
And my computer was like a year old at that time. And I just, over time, you build a little here, you get a new microphone there, you get new headset, so on and so forth. To the point where just last month, I built a brand new gaming PC, and I'd say a third of the cost of it came directly from people who donated for me to build. I mean, so that's what you do. You build up slowly over time as your audience is growing. You work on your setup. And
there's the thing. I don't take any donation. 100% of my donations go to a veteran.
Right. Just so you know, you're cutting out again. Is it possibly? Do you have a noise gate set up, or is it maybe a bad connection? So, because this is something I really wanted to give some focus on. I've been telling people about this leading up. You give 100% of your donations to charity.
Any better?
I mean, yeah, but it seems like it randomly cuts out. I'll do this if you cut out again.
All right.
I'll give you a little signal.
All right, works for me.
So you were saying about your charities.
Yeah, I don't improve my stream with donation. 100 different veteran service organization. That's not good.
Yeah, I want to make sure people who don't know you can hear this.
Don't. I want to hear it too, and I wish there was something that lit up on here that could show me when I'm doing that.
The weird thing is,
that
it's
might
like
be my mix amp going out.
Yes, we are using Discord, Ice. Yeah, we use Discord video calling.
Let me reboot this.
Ooh, listen to that. That sounded like unfiltered.
And better now.
I mean,
reboot there help.
We'll see.
All right.
But yeah, I've been telling everyone, and
tighten all these.
I want to make. Ice says it could be Discord voice attenuation. I'm not sure. Yeah. How's my audio? Says, hey, convenient timing for me to show up. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. So go ahead. Tell everyone what you do with your donations.
No, my first 3 weeks, the month of May, from May 8th to the end of May, I gave up. Uh-oh. What happened? Did we lose it again?
Yeah. You said the first 3 months we gave and then silence until
Okay.
Let me see if I got it. Okay. For the first,
let me try one other thing.
You try that. I'm going to explain different. So what Infidel does is, as a veteran himself, every single penny he makes in donation money that comes in through his stream, he donates to a different veterans charitable organization. I don't remember what he did for the first month. The second month he did the Wounded Warrior Project. And this month he's doing for a charity called Patriot Paws, which is a fantastic charity that partners stress dogs, service animals, with veterans who are suffering from PTSD. Now, if this is the same project that I believe it is, they also work with, and I could be wrong, and I'll wait for him to correct me on this or not, but I believe this is also one that has been used in federal penitentiaries for dogs that have been deemed unrecoverable or something like that.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. I hope I don't bother you with.
No, but the audio is still cutting out.
Is it really?
Yeah, it really is.
It must be Discord. Because now you're on the Yeti instead of on the headset.
Yeah, it's still cutting in and out. In fact, it's cutting out worse.
All right. Let me put it back on what it was. On what it was, and I will. Maybe we try something different. All right, voice and video.
I think one was also downrange excursions. Infidel.
Yeah.
Wally in chat suggests.
Back here.
Wally in chat suggests
Alright.
that maybe if you put it on push to talk instead of voice activation, that might solve the problem because it might be the voice sensitivity.
Push to talk, huh?
Yeah. So if you go to the little options.
Unfortunately, what do I use to talk with that? The space bar then?
Spacebar or control key, whatever works for you, and you can always set it back later, but maybe just for now,
Alright.
that might help because they're thinking what it is it's Discord's voice sensitivity is what's dropping you out. This is the Palaver, folks. It's very casual. We can do tech support right on stream. It's fine. And then you actually do have to push the push to talk button once you've got it set up. I don't know downrange excursions. That's not a thing I'm familiar with. But I will say, back when I was a teacher, back when I was actually making a steady income, there was really only 2 charities that I ever got involved with. And one was Red Cross when I would donate blood. I used to be a Gallon Club member. And then the other was the Wounded Warrior Project. So.
I'll change the sensitivity. Hopefully it'll keep it on. I basically got rid of the filters.
Okay. We'll see.
So,
like I said, it's not a big
all
deal.
right.
You know, either way.
All right. So, yeah, you had it pretty much right. Every month I give away 100% of our donations. Our first 3 weeks of streaming, it was the Wounded Warrior Project, and the community came up with $1,010.57. The month of June was a full month, and for that month, we changed it to Downrange Excursions, which is a great company out of the Quad Cities area in the Midwest that does incredible hands-on crisis intervention with vets that are at high risk. Basically, go and pick them up 2 states away and take them to the nearest VA, you know, by hand to make sure they get there, that kind of stuff. And they were fortunate enough that our community came together on a good month, and we donated $1,750 to them.
Damn,
this month,
that's
we're working
amazing.
with Patriot Paws, which is a service dog company. They use the prison system, but they don't really go for the unrecoverable dogs. What they do is they take younger dogs and they train the prisoners, the inmates, whatever you want to call them, the condemned, if you please. They train them to appropriately train these service dogs for the specific disabilities that veterans require them for, as well as use volunteers from around the community and around the country for home placement and training. And then they place these dogs with veterans all over the country. So I think their integration with the prison system is mostly in the state of Texas, as I understand it. It's, I think, 2 or 3 different prisons, and it's an experimental program out there that's having great results, both for the veterans that are helped with the dogs and for the prisoners or inmates who, you know, they get to do something with a gentle and loving animal, and they're making a difference in the world, and I think it helps them in many ways. So it's a sort of a win-win company out there. And as a disabled vet with a service dog of my own, there's no way in hell I'd still be alive without my Yama. So I can't get behind them enough. That's July's VSO of the month. And then every month from here on out, as long as I'm streaming, there will be a new Veteran Service Organization of the month. And the whole idea is not just to raise funding for them, but to raise awareness that they exist.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have $20 or $10 or $5 to throw at it, through our donations or the direct link to the VSO of the month on the channel, you're more than welcome to find out if there's a chapter near you, if there's a day of the month you and the family can get together and go out and make a difference in a different way. But knowing that these places exist is half the battle.
So, I don't talk politics on Twitch. Generally speaking, that's always a good rule.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost impossible to talk about this kind of a thing without at least touching on certain political things. So I don't know if you heard me on us talking while you were working the audio issues. There have only been 2 charities I've ever really gotten involved with. One was the Red Cross. I used to be a Gallon Club donator.
Okay.
And that means you go so often you get a little pin that says when you've donated a gallon of blood. I was a multiple gallon donator for a long time.
Wonderful.
And the other was back when I was steadily working as a teacher, I would always take a little bit of money out of my paycheck and send it to Wounded Warrior Project. And my rationale was because there were a lot of times where I didn't agree in the U.S. involvement in military actions overseas, but I support our troops. You know, our veterans, our troops, these are people who are signing up for our country. They deserve our support. And so I may not agree with whatever the politics are, but no matter what, you've got to support the people who put their life on the line. And I always felt like the Wounded Warrior Project, that's an area where we fall down as a country, is supporting our veterans when they need it the most.
See, and that's the irony of it all. That's the irony of it all. Without being political as well, it's everybody who serves in our military in this day and age raises their right hand and volunteers to go. They receive much more training than we've ever given to any generations prior before they go off to combat. They're given more equipment and expenses in their equipping than ever been done before. And they turn us into very well-trained soldiers. And we fight these asymmetrical wars now that years past we would have never had even a clue as how to survive, let alone win something like that. And it's very devastating. Whereas years past, you'd have a casualty count that included killed and wounded in action. And in a conflict like Vietnam, it was about half and half, if not 33% killed and 66 wounded. And in that case, the shift has become now you have less than 10% that are actually killed in those casualty figures, and the other 90% are all wounded in action, are all hurt in some way or shape or form. You might be in an MRAP and your life might be saved by the V-shaped hole underneath it, but that bomb is still going to knock your head 10 ways from Sunday and give you a TBI that you'll be suffering from the rest of your life. So all these guys are coming back jacked up, wounded, hurt, and the VA can't handle it. It took me 2 years to get my full benefits that were due. I had to use a VSO, a Veterans Service Organization, and I used the Wounded Warrior Project. They had some VSO officers, Veteran Service officers, that would intercede in my claims process and help me with my appeals and all the rest, that without them, I never would have gotten my full benefits, and I would never be able to stream or be in a position to do what I do. And then years later, the Wounded Warrior Project stepped up again when I lost my most recent marriage, and I was despondent in many ways. And they brought me up on a Project Odyssey. That's where this shirt is from, actually. It's from my Project Odyssey up in Telluride, Colorado, where I spent 3 days up there and actually skied on my titanium leg. It's titanium on the inside, rebuilt, with a neck injury, shoulder injuries, head injury, and all the rest. I never thought that I would actually get up and do athletics. I sold my golf clubs because my neck and shoulders won't support a golf swing. I don't play any sports that involve running or moving fast, things of that nature. My leg doesn't support it. But I got on skis, and I had one of the best weekends of my life. Came back from it feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the world again. So I'm a big supporter of the Wounded Warrior Project as well. A lot of people don't actually see the difference they make, but it's out there, especially amongst those of us who have the ability to actually reach out and ask for it.
You mentioned so your titanium leg. I'm guessing it's like rods, plates, screws, etc. inside the leg.
Yeah. Humpty Dumpty's leg.
But you know that brought something up that again, since we're of the same age, I wanna ask you about, because I've had this feeling over the last 10 to 15 years, we've seen amazing advances in prosthetic technology. I mean, just the advancement of prosthetic limbs, etc., has just been this just mind-blowing leap. I mean, you remember when we were younger,
because of the demand.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe how many landmines are left in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're everywhere.
But again, that shows that we have this great need to support our veterans, especially those who are injured both internally, you know, where you can't see it, as well as the external, which is obvious when you look at. But man,
unfortunately, our government is willing to spend 100 times more on waging the war than on taking care of the vets after it's over. And truth be told, I don't think our government was in any way prepared for the massive waves of disabled vets who came back injured from these wars. I mean, I've literally seen a guy get shot square in the back with an AK-47 round from about 30 meters away and took it into the plate, fell down on the ground from the impact and the hit, stood right back up, shook it off, and returned fire. You know what? Who knows? If it hadn't hit there, it might have cracked a rib. There's all sorts of injuries implicit with that kind of thing, but it doesn't kill us anymore.
right.
Just doesn't kill us anymore. I don't want to say we're invincible on the battlefield, but those numbers from the last decade of warfare or more are nothing like we would have had with 12, 13 years in Vietnam. 17 years now we've been in Afghanistan. 17 years.
Yeah. Listen.
Still
again,
coming home all broken.
Dude, I never served. I never, okay, listen. Again, I don't want to get political, right?
Hey.
But when Obama was elected, going back 10 years now, the one thing that he kept saying that I was like, this gives me hope, is that he kept talking about how he wanted to get our troops back home and he wanted to get us out of those wars in the Middle East. And then what's he do? He starts like 3 more. It's like, come on. Can we just...
politics. I don't know enough about geopolitical politics.
Like,
right now, I concern myself with the aftermath.
Right. Can we just...
I mean, I'm concerned with the veterans I see everywhere. I mean, I live in Las Vegas. This is a great place for homeless folks, homeless vets, and otherwise. There's a lot of downtrodden community in this area, and the ratio of veterans, I mean, at the U.S. Vets House to the VA hospital they just built up in the north end of town, you know, they're everywhere. And everybody's got some sort of issue, and everybody's got some sort of complaint about the VA. So what am I going to do? I'm going to sit back with my full retirement, play video games, and all by myself and with my small group of friends? Or am I going to start a stream, put myself out there, try and use, my time, which is all I have now. I'm able to stream full time and in the prime time slot, which is also contributing to my growth. But I'm able to do it all with the bigger picture in mind. I mean, I can't just sit back and say, I can't change the wars. I can't stop the wars. I can't change the way they're fought. I can't change any of that stuff. Right. I can vote. That's about all I can do. But at the same time, I can make a difference by raising funds and awareness for these VSOs. And if that can be done while just playing video games, and I can end up making 100 times as many friends as I had to start out with, then I'm all good with it. I don't mind at all. And I think I'm doing something decent. I mean, I can't fix all of it. But as long as I'm streaming every month, there'll be a new VSO. And you know what? I'll stream for 10 years and I'll never run out, because there's a lot of support for veterans in this country, just like you give. It's everywhere. And it's these grassroots organizations that I'm trying to bring to light and help out that are doing it.
And I feel like that is a massive, massive part of what you're doing that's so important. Is, like, we always talk about raising awareness, but I think that it really is a critical part. Like, when I was in high school, I had a friend who was a little older, and right out of high school, he joined, he was a Marine. He joined the Marines. He ended up getting sent over there for Operation Desert Storm.
Okay.
Yes, Desert Storm. And you know what, dude, when he got back, he wasn't physically injured, but he had just changed. Like, he talked about, a 3-day long firefight that he had been in, basically. And, of course, I was young, and did you kill any? I asked, and he goes, honestly, I would tell you if I knew, but I don't know. It was 3 days long, and you're just shooting into the darkness. You don't know. And he goes, and I think about that a lot. I don't know. But you could just see in his eyes, you could see in the way he acted, like, even the people who aren't injured are fundamentally changed. And like, honestly, dude, I even said to him at one point, I'm like, hey, do you ever go get counseling or anything through the VA? He goes, no, there are people, he goes, I can't take those resources away from the people who really need it. I'm like,
That's one thought.
You could use it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's one school of thinking, and that's just, let's face it, we'll be honest, that's excuses right there. But
Yeah.
at the same time, there's a dozen different reasons. And the truth is, the VA, if it's not I don't need it enough to take it away from other vets, it's more of an adversarial relationship. But there's not many vets out there who love the VA.
yeah.
If you find one, I'd like to talk to them.
I just want to point out something Designer Jay said in chat that I think is really great. It said, I think an issue is that troops are not trained how to deal with what they're going to experience. So if you train to be a doctor, you learn how to deal with death. Why not give troops similar post mortem training? I think what he means is train them that they're going to have to deal with a lot of this baggage during basic training. It's going to be a thing that everyone deals with.
You know, you can't. That's a very difficult topic that the military's been tossing around for years and years. And we had post-deployment debriefings that lasted for 3 weeks before you could go on leave after you got home from deployment. They were like safety stand-downs. You didn't do any of your usual stuff. You did classrooms, you hung out, you had barbecues, you brought your family to work with you if you had them, and it was a reintegration training.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really go in depth enough. It just provides you the baseline. It's like the book.
It's more
It
like
gives you
sort
the
of a
book. It
decompression
doesn't teach you
chamber.
how to read it or what chapters to read at certain times and things like that. So you're going to be fundamentally changed by the experience of warfare, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter how many lives you contribute to the loss of. You're still going to be fundamentally changed by the whole experience. And that's part of the point of it. It's just a question of how well do you reintegrate in the end. And some of us do it better than others. And certain injuries, like my TBI, make it more difficult than it would for others. I mean, the scale is so gray, and the objective nature of or subjective nature of everyone's different experience is what makes it so that no blanket measures that are ever put into place will ever work. What worked for Rambo isn't necessarily going to work for Sergeant Elias. You know, I mean, you can't put them both through the same post-deployment training and have them both come out okay.
But in a way, isn't that decompression chamber, those 3 weeks, it's better than what we used to have. Like, the criticism comes from, like, the Vietnam vets who'd literally be like, okay, we're sending you home. They'd get off a plane and be like, here's your money, here's your papers, have a great life. And that'd be it.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
You know,
we don't do that anymore. And yeah, there are further measures. It is a nice advance. It does show that they're working on that issue preemptively and preventatively. But at the same time, it's not an easily addressed issue.
But that's
it's
where
like
these organizations
curing cancer. Okay, there's so many different types of cancers. No one cure is going to fit for any of them. And even finding the cure for one of them is a monumental achievement. So, you know, that's where these outside VSOs come in, though, because if you have a certain type of disability and you have a certain type of affectation, you can find help in a certain area from a certain type of VSO that's going to be more effective than another. I mean, if you are looking for crisis intervention, you go to battles and distress, you go to downrange excursions, you go to a dozen others. If you're looking for help with your VA claim, you go to the DAV, you go to the Legion, the VFW, or Wounded Warrior Project. Each different VSO does a different thing and helps in a different way. And part of the problem for veterans is not knowing where to go. I mean, they say, well, then just go to the VA. Well, the VA isn't going to point you in the right direction. It's on you to find that help where you need it. And that's what I want to do, is help these vets do that, and also bring the general public in as well. So it's like a dual process for me.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
I
got to real quick tell you, you mentioned TBI a couple times. I mentioned I used to be a teacher. I was a special education teacher working primarily with children with developmental disabilities. But traumatic brain injury is actually considered a developmental disability because it's, a disability that affects how you develop as a human being, etc. Now, with my school that I worked at, we would only deal with populations 18 and younger. But people don't realize, man, when you have any form of these disabilities, it's not just like if you lose an arm, it's not just learning how to live without that arm. It's that you now have to reimagine everything about who you are and who you think you are. And that's another aspect to our veterans that has to come into play. It's not just that they're dealing with whatever's going on. Maybe it's PTSD, maybe it's loss of a limb, whatever it is. It's they're also dealing with having to reconceptualize who they are.
Yep. Because you can't just be Rambo.
No.
We all know what happened to him. It doesn't work. So I was so onto something that was a perfect rebuttal there, but I just completely lost it.
Well, if you want, I can just point out something from Papa Smokes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say there's the other thing about it, is about streaming in general, and what I'm trying to do with Warrior Network Gaming, which is the WNG part of the name, is that I'm using it as my own therapy as well. One of the things that anybody who watches me regularly will tell you is that I'm like an open book. I'm a straight shooter. There's no pretense with what you get. I'm 100% in a way almost reactive emotionally. It's part of the reason I'm thrice divorced. I get upset. I get down. I get happy. I'm all over the board in some respects, but that's part of my illness. And being on stream helps me. If I had had some of the runs of games that I've had on stream while I wasn't streaming with all my friends, the amount of damage to my Xbox, TV, home, and all that would be incalculable.
Dude, I was on AG stream the time that you had like 4 games in a row where you got just absolutely obliterated, and you're like, That's it, I'm quitting, I'm fucking throwing my Xbox in the trash, I'm done forever. Fuck this, you'll never see me play this fucking game again. Dude,
I get that way. And I'm right back at it the next day, because I really just don't quit. I never quit at anything.
It was, all I can say is for viewers, it was hilarious. It was very enjoyable.
I'm sure. I've been told I've had people rolling in their seats before, and I'm also shocked and surprised. So that's part of me, though, is that I use the stream as my own form of therapy. I pay attention to my own emotions and my own persona at any given time, and I look at the way that it's affected by games, by numbers, by other things that might be coming at me, and it's how do I put it? It's literally my therapy, almost like a group therapy. And I love it. It's made all the difference in my life. I wouldn't have it any other way. The last 2 months have been some of the best of my life.
And dude, you're not alone on that, man. You have no idea the number of people I've talked to in the last almost 2 years since I've been streaming that say, I started streaming because I was cripplingly depressed, or I was shy, or I have social anxiety, or whatever, and streaming just helps get them over that. It gives them a very safe place to socially interact. It's a fantastic thing. People ask me, they're like, hey, should I start streaming? I'm like, yes, absolutely.
And then if you look at my numbers, all of a sudden I've got this, holy crap, I'm actually popular too. Never was in school. I was only popular if the bullies were picking on you, and then you'd come see me and the bullies would end up stopping eventually. That was my job. I was a superhero from the beginning, so part of growing up big. But I was never the popular one. I never had a huge group of friends. I was never in the middle of everything or aware of what was going on with a large group of people and keeping track of a large group of people and feeling connected to them. And now I finally am, and I love it. I mean, it's the best camaraderie I've had since the military.
I gotta say, one of the things that I love the most, so I always tell people the reason I started streaming, I'm a recovering massive multiplayer online addict, and
I am too.
Dude, people talk about MMO addiction, and I used to laugh at them. I'm like, whatever, you puss. No, dude, I ruined my life with MMOs. I stopped doing it. But after I finally said no more, I can't do MMOs. I'm gonna lose my wife if I do another MMO. She's gonna kick me out. That'll be it. My life will be over. But I realized I was like, video games don't feel fun for me. They felt shallow. They felt empty. And so I started streaming because I was like, I miss having that person to talk to and that interaction with other people. I mean, you're again, we're the same age. You probably remember video games were something you did socially. Like you would go to the arcade or you'd sit on the couch with your friends passing the controller back and forth.
Yep.
My parents didn't allow me to play video games alone in my room. Like, my parents...
Until I was older, I was restricted 2 hours of media per day. And that was video games or television. I could choose. So I was always limited. I could play by myself, but I couldn't do it for more than an hour or so, especially if I wanted to watch The Late Show before bed.
I mean, we didn't have a television in my house until I was 8 years old. And then I was my mom actually pushed my dad into letting me get a Nintendo because she's like, this is a socializing aspect. But I was only allowed to play it with my friends or when they got old enough, my younger siblings. I was never allowed to play it by myself. If they found out I was playing my Nintendo alone in my room. Well, it also didn't help that we only had the one TV, so it was like it was the TV room. I couldn't, But anyways, So anyways, the socializing aspect of Twitch is, I don't know. I think the most amazing thing.
Oh, there's nothing better than a packed chat room. None better. And I make sure that I try as hard as I can to greet everybody as they come in, and interact when I'm directly requested a question or things of that nature. It's tough these days.
Yeah.
With the viewership I've been getting, that chat is rolling.
What are your average numbers looking like on a day-to-day basis?
They're ever increasing. The last.
I mean, the last time I watched.
Like I said, I've been up for 2 months. My first, from June 10th to July 9th, I got a 41 average.
That dude, you're
and
killing
the 30 days before that, May 11th to June 9th, was a 16 average. So I've gone from a 16 average in the first month to a 41 in the second, and it's going up. So hopefully we'll get even bigger. We'll grow even more. We'll have even more fun. Like I say, that chat is rocking these days.
Yeah, dude, I gotta be honest, man. About two and a half months ago, I was hitting like 70 viewers, and I was like, this is it. I'm gonna make partner. Oh my god, this is amazing. And then I don't know what happened, just my concurrent viewership dropped down to like 20. Just like over the course of a week, just all of a sudden my numbers just went away. And I've been creeping back up, so I've been ending my streams with 30, 40, which is nice.
Yeah.
But man, I'm not going to lie, those days when there was one day where I had a concurrent viewer of 11, I thought about quitting. I was like, I've been doing this for a year and a half, and my concurrent viewership is it becomes almost addictive. You miss that chat. And I feel bad because normally I'm super interactive with chat, but during the Palaver, it's really about the guest, But it's so hard not to be like, when I get those raids, be like, woo, raid, hey, how's it going? And just respond to everything the chat's saying. But like I said, this is about you. It's about the guest when I do the podcast.
And don't get me wrong, I've had my slumps. It's the graph goes like this, it's a wave graph, not a steady rise graph. And there have been some bad days, and I'm sure the time will come, and it happens to every streamer, I'm sure, that's not just rocketing straight up at a pace that's insane, that I may hit that section, I may hit that wall, but there's always another game coming.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Another crowd.
I'll tell you one thing that was a big eye-opener for me. One of the really big streamers, partnered streamers on Twitch, one day I was in his channel, and he had, I want to say, 11,000 or so viewers. And you could tell he was in a bad mood. And that probably is one of the reasons why there weren't as many. And he responded to something, he goes, because my numbers are shit, and they've been shit for a week. He goes, I've only got 11,000 viewers. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. I've been in this guy's channel when he's had 30 or 40. But, like, that feeling, it made me realize that never goes away. That feeling of, like,
Nope.
I should be doing so much better than I am right now. Like,
If you have abandonment issues,
yeah.
is not for you.
What are you going to do?
Because, hey, you know what? People move on. Good friends come back. Others move on. They find other streamers. That life takes them somewhere else. I got a big military community. I've noticed already quite a few folks that have taken off on a deployment.
Yeah.
You know, they can't watch while they're on deployment. Others are out on training. Hey, I'll be back in 3 days. Can't wait to play. They pop in for 10 minutes on their cell phone while they're over at NTC or JTRC or whatever, all these different training centers. And, you know, it's always going to happen. You're going to have swings. You're going to have others. You just got to try and not make it about yourself. And you were right when you touched on the fact that he was in a bad mood. And he says it's because he had 11,000 viewers, but maybe he had 11,000 viewers because he's in a bad mood. Because I have seen when my game, let's face it, I play PUBG on Xbox, that thing really acts up and makes it impossible for you to even get a kill, let alone a win. It's hard not to get upset. And you can watch as your viewership just starts dropping and dropping and dropping the more you get upset. It's one of the reasons I keep my playlist, which a lot of people, when they come to my stream, they want to know what song I'm playing, and they always want to check out the playlist. I always make it public on Spotify and such, and I'm proud of it. I change it up every day or two, add and subtract, and keep it new. But I always keep a central theme of positive, uplifting, and good message with good rhythm and a good feel to it. I mean, the music has to be able to break me out of that trance, as well as the audience. You know, if you're having a bad day at work, I'm going to put on a song for you that if you actually listen to it is going to make your day a little better.
So,
You know, I'm a little bit old school DJ as well.
Dude, you don't have to tell me. My playlist is 270 plus songs long. Believe me. But I gotta be honest. Sometimes I love a bit of a slower, depressing song. Like, I don't know if you know Bill Withers. Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Dude, when I hear that song, it just like, I just feel so good. And it's a depressing, sad song. It's a song about dealing with love. But, dude, this is just such a good song.
Yeah, hey, even slow and deep songs, they touch a different string, but they'll still make your body shiver a little bit. And, I mean, I'm not against that. If it's a weekend on a Saturday, I might mix it up, throw a lot of different stuff in there, even some Five-Finger Death Punch for all I know. But, you know, I really try to keep to my original theme because, like I say, it keeps me going in difficult times, and I like to try and keep my audience going. I'll be honest, the hours that I stream, most of my audience is sitting at work. You know, it's the lucky folks. Them's the lucky ones that can do what they want while they're at their desk, and they choose to spend their time with me in the background. So
now
I want to help them with that.
You're in Vegas, so that's Mountain Time?
Pacific.
Okay, it's Pacific Time. So what time do you stream? We haven't really talked about your Twitch channel specifically, which we should because we're running out of time.
Well, I stream from 11 a.m. to about 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Really?
So
11 to 5, you say?
Yeah. I know. I see we're on the same time. Yeah.
But of course, there's the 3-hour time difference. But
right.
Yeah, dude. So when you're talking about that work shift, I'm the same way, man.
Yeah.
I'm the exact same way. I get those people who come in. They're like, "Hey, man, I'm at work. I'll be in and out during meetings, but I'm working all day." Yeah, no problem. You know, I actually love it. Because I feel like, well, I'm going to work. You know, okay, I'm going to work for the next 6 hours. This is when I go to work.
And you will also notice that there are dips and spikes on the hour, especially the last 2 to 3 hours of the stream. You'll see a bunch of people jump on. All right, heading home now.
Yep.
and you'll see a little dip in your rating, in your numbers, and then it'll come slowly back up the rest of the hour, just to drop again the next hour as everybody else leaves work. You can see the New Yorkers go home, and then the Chicagoans go home.
Every goddamn day at 4 o'clock, I lose literally a quarter to a third of my viewers because
As long as you tell them to drive home safely.
Yeah, exactly. They're like going home. I'm like, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you had a great day. Have a good one. I'll see you later. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Listen, one thing I did want to talk about, because we are running out of time, but I know you're still new. Can I just tell you one of my personal philosophies about those numbers? Because it's going to happen to you where you'll hit that next low and you'll feel a little bit bad. Dude, the way I look at Twitch is I don't have viewers. Like, I don't have my viewers. I'm here to put on a show. Anyone who comes by, great. If they move on to another, like, dude, Hazmat 1138. I've been friends with the dude for like 4 or 5 years now. He's subbed to you. He's not subbed to me. Do I care? No, because my opinion is I'm happy that one of my friends could find someone that he connects with better than with me. You know what? Does that make sense? And that's the way you've got to look at it. You've got to look at it that you're here to do what you do, and anyone that's there, when they're there, you've got to love and appreciate, and that's the only way you're going to...
Absolutely. I always say, I say it all the time on every stream. People say I'm only here for a minute, just stopping by to say hi. I tell them, whether you stay for a minute, an hour, or the whole stream, it's just good to see you.
Yeah.
You know? And if I don't, then hey, you know what? Next time you can. All good by me. Yeah. I'm still gonna be here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Whether I be streaming to the bots or streaming to a room full of people, I'm still gonna be streaming.
I mean, I've made my schedule for over a year now. Like, I had this schedule before I was made an affiliate, and I've been an affiliate for a year. So, like, people know Monday through Friday, 11 till 5, no problem. And now, if you're Pacific Coast, 11 till 5 for Infidel. Listen, I could talk to you for another 3 hours easily, but I found with my podcast, you gotta keep it to an hour.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up? Any shout outs? Anyone you wanted to plug? Anyone you want to thank? Anything you wanted to say that we didn't get a chance to do?
I want to thank AJ Fuhr for introducing us. He's a great friend of mine now, and I know he's been a great friend of yours for a long time.
He's
AJ,
one of my grooms.
your brother.
AJ was a groomsman at my wedding. Yeah.
Yep, I saw the picture. No beard, a little bit bellyish. Yeah, all right. I downloaded that one for blackmail use later.
I'll see if I can find you the clean picture without the word, so you can meme it yourself. I'll see if I can find that for you.
Oh, it's over for you, AJ. Otherwise, no, I'm glad to have joined the Proper Nerds Discord. I hope to see a lot of your folks around there and yourself as well. I have seen you drop by the stream, and I thank you for that, Rev.
Dude,
thank you for having me on the podcast. It's my first one, and it's been a great experience.
And you know, your friend will have you back on in a few months, and it'll be great. It'll be old hat at that point. Now, before we wrap up, let me just explain what's going to happen. We do a thing, then we say goodnight, and then we raid into someone new. So I'm going to ask everyone here in chat, please stick around. Also, one last thing, if you're new here, I will just say I am giving away a $25 Amazon.com gift card. You can type !giveaway for details. Basically, you earn points by being here. Lurk the channel, talk, whatever you like. You get the points. Once you have 500 points, you type buy ticket _1. You're entered into a drawing that I'm going to do on the 27th. Maybe win $25. Who can use $25, right? And that's it. So we're going to do a thing. We're going to say goodnight. I'm going to give out some bonus points to everyone who's stuck around for the very end. And then we're going to raid into someone. Please, please, please. Whoever we drop our raid on, go over to their channel, blow up their chat, show them the love, show them how we do it. All right? Okay, Infidel. I hope you don't know what the thing is, because it's always better when the guest doesn't know the thing. Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Last word goes to you.
Last word to me. All right. Thank you for hanging with the Palaver. We'll be back next Monday. Not me, but Rev. Oh, wait, is he over there? I don't know. Either way, make sure you hit that follow if you haven't yet. Come back for the next Palaver. Check out Rev on Twitch. Check me out on Twitch, and we will see you next time.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Rev is logging out of the system. Please stand by for a raid on another Twitch streamer. Establishing connection now. Please hold.